This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Thank you everybody for coming. Thank you once again to corporate sponsors, Nissi Tillam, Morty Prero, Light Power, for providing the wonderful food over here we have tonight. So, we were discussing grass and lawns before, and I had a very interesting story this week. Not a major long story, short, but major perspective that really I'm walking outside last night. I bump into my neighbor right next door. And 2 weeks ago on Shabbos, we were talking about lawns and trying to find just small talk between us. And they were spraying chemicals on the lawn, and I was saying, "Oh, is this good? Is that good?" And she said, giving her her 2 cents. Her husband was there with the boots and everything. And 2 weeks later, I came by yesterday, and I said, "I just want to let you know, like, your lawn just looks spectacular. It's beautiful. It's green, it's luscious, it's nice." And this is right after I ripped up my entire lawn. And she looks at me, smirks, and she says, "The only reason you think my lawn is nice and green and luscious is because you don't have grass." It's a gewaltige Musar. And what was she saying? There's many lessons. There's many different gedanks that can be taken out of that. It's the hasagas, that she's used to this and I have less. Okay, so but there's something tremendous which I thought about for a while. What was the oimik? What was the amkas? What was the lom that she was telling? And I think the lom that she was saying is as follows. A lot of times in life, we get very complacent and we become very satisfied with our dry, fruitless, grassless soil. And we look at someone else that's maybe a little bit above but not there yet, and we say, "Wow, look at you. You're such a Talmid Chacham, you're so dedicated, you're such a tzaddik." And really, they're like, "Listen, like, this isn't so great. Like, if only you would put in time and energy and dedicate yourself to the Eibishter and to Avodas Hashem, that would be something. But, like, essentially, I have nothing, and you for sure have nothing." And the Avodah Sira and Kabbalah Torah, as it gets closer, I think tonight marks the halfway point, basically. The Avodah is to realize that we're all a work in progress. We're all trying to get there. But we can't become satisfied with our barren, fruitless lawns, our spiritual ones, our guf, our neshama. And sometimes we'll look to the other person and say, "Wow," look, and really it's all a facade. It's all fake. It's all distortion. Because it's not that they're doing much better. It's just we have nothing. Okay, so that's a great var. It's a good insight. But what does that have to do with us practically? How do we rise to the occasion? How do we combat? How do we overcome the feeling of yish? Like, okay, it's very hard. I don't want to do the work. This is who I am. This is what I do. This is my schedule. This is my routine. I am learning. I'm not learning. I am davening. I'm coming late. I'm not. And we have all the excuses in the world. But we, at the end of the day, become used to hergel, which the Sfarim talk about. It's negativity and it's literally poison, how we just get wrapped up in it, and it's very hard to move on past it. So what do? We get very used to and accustomed to our schedule, and we want to move past. And we think, like, does it really matter? Does Hashem really care? Like, this is it. We're doing okay. Like, this is our soil. But does Hashem really care? That extra step, the extra knetch, coming to davening, being a good father, a good dad, whatever you are, being a good husband, learning for just a couple minutes more a day if you're not learning at all. Does Eibishter care? And if we're so far, we're cut off, we feel that we're barren, taka. So does Hashem want us coming around? What's it going to do in the grand scheme? There's so many other people doing great things. There's a whole BMG, there's a whole Beis Aaron, a Beis Shalom, and a Carry, and a Beis Yitzchak of Gaishla. Does Hashem really need me? I'm already past that. I'm not doing that anymore. So what's the answer? So the answer is this week's Parshas Kedoshim, Pasuk Ches, Yutes Ches. Orach Chaim, change your life. This is talking about noiser and pigel, and it says that a person who transgresses, a person who's over on these isurim, he gets chorus. Says the next pasuk tes, uvekutzechem es kitzir artzechem, which is very negel in to the lawns and to the grass. When you cut the kitzir artzechem, when you cut your grass, your kitzir, your harvest, lo yisechal pasadecha liktzor, v'lek kitzir chalis alachit. We go on to these halachas about how you have to treat your field and you have to leave it over, pasadecha, v'chamacha l'sa'ilel, l'feret, all these dinim. Frek the Orach Chaim, right on the pasuk. I'll read it to you, it's just a couple words inside. On Tes, we always have to understand, notice, and hear the message behind smichus, behind two psukim. So we just talked about the pasuk of Karis, that there's a pasuk of Karis, and then we jump into when you cut the harvest of your land. What's the smichus? Karis, and then right into your land, what shaychus? Says the Orach Chaim, a life's vart, life's yisoid. V'zeh l'shoynei hazav, tam shehischil l'daber b'loshen one second, next piece. V'tam smichas mitzvah la'onish karis. What does leket kitzircha have to do with the karis? Why is it together? Ulai sheramaz. Perhaps the Torah is alluding to, it's hinting to us the following. Shelo yomer adam, a person shouldn't say, im hezid v'nischayev karis, if I already messed up, I already slipped, and I was already chayev karis. So what does Hashem want from me? The game is over. The lights are off. We drop the mic, close up shop, and just have fun. Like, might as well. Like, I might as well just enjoy, give in to my atzas yetzer, to my evil inclination, just do all the taivus and everything that I have, because Hashem doesn't care. I'm already chayev karis. So what does it make a difference? Ki chvarnes chayev karis. I'm already the lowest of the low. I'm already cut off, the worst type of spiritual death possible. Zok the Torah, v'lezeh omar, uvekutzechem es kitzir artzechem. The Torah says right after, when you cut off your kitzir, when you harvest, pirish, kishegorim ad sheniktzir kitzir artzeh shu karis, lo yisechal le'pa'asadecha. The Torah tells you right after you thought that you already karis, you already nichras, the Torah says, no, don't run so fast. Don't cut it off entirely. Don't harvest yourself. Don't call yourself an utter failure. I'm giving you, the Torah is giving us another lav. It's saying, you're still in the rink. You're still in the game. Do not give up. And the Torah says, do not cut it down. Do not cut it down, because ultimately, even a year, we can do tshuva. We can always come back. And that's the realization, the avodah of right now, of Parshas Kedoshim 2, L'Hashem Elokeichem, that when we feel that our soil is completely dried out, we feel that there's no more life, we feel that it can't produce anymore, we feel it's mamash, an inner, a spirit, a karis. The Torah in the next pasuk says, Lo yisechal kitzir artzechem, don't cut it down. You're never lost. We're always connected. We're always tied up with the Eibishter, and Hashem never gives up on us. And therefore, Lo yisechal pasadecha liktzor oiseh b'maisim ra'im acherim. Don't go with your maisim ra'im. V'yidir bezesh lo yitechar kol nefesh. Don't cut your nefesh out. Even after you're ready, you're over in karis, don't cut yourself out. Don't black out yourself. Shaboy ramza mitzvazu. That is the mitzvah, right after the mitzvah of karis, the mitzvah of lo yisechal kitzir artzechem, telling us this yisoid. Don't run away. Hashem doesn't give up on us. Hashem is always waiting for us. And no matter how dry and lifeless our spiritual inner nefashis dike soil may feel, lo yisechal. Even after v'nichasa, don't cut yourself out. Don't give up. And Hashem is always waiting. And those extra 5 minutes, that extra chizik in davening, the extra seder, kibbut av'aim, being a good father, being a good husband, it all matters. And even if we messed up on a constant basis, we already feel that we're an utter failure, nichras, with karas, Hashem says, Lo yisechal kitzir artzechem. Don't give up. Always come right back in. Finish off with an incredible Maisa and Nisi, 2 more minutes. Yeah? 1. Let me tell you this Maisa. Just, this Maisa I heard a couple times over. Incredible. There's a Maisa, there's a famous Hasidus, Varka. One of the disciples of Varka, his name was the Reb Davidel. Okay, I forgot his last name. Okay, no, like a complicated, like Shmilkovitz, something like that. Name doesn't matter, the story does. The Maisa goes, it was in the town of whoever it was, and a Varka, we'll call it the Varka Hasidus. And one of the Hasidim came crying to the Rebbe. He said, Rebbe, I have a huge problem. He said, what's the big deal? What's the problem? What? He said, my daughter went off the derech. He said, okay, it happens. We're going to take care of it. He said, no, you don't understand. Not stam, she went off the derech. She went off with a guy, and now she's in the church, and it's pikuach nefashos. Rebbe, we need help. And the Rebbe was taken aback. This he never encountered. And he said, give me a couple of days to think on it. I'm going to think of the best strategy, how we approach this. Comes back, he tells his chassid, he says, listen, he said, give me a few days. I'm going to go with my gabbai, and we're going to sort this out. Be'ezer Hashem. He said, okay, I trust in the Rebbe, I trust in Hashem, I hope you take care of it. Thank you. He said, come back in 2 weeks. The Rebbe sits out with his gabbai, and they go after the church, they go after the monastery, and it was a long journey. 3 days out, through forests and towns and cities, and finally they arrive. And here's the Rebbe with his gabbai, and their shtreimel, and their talis, and their tefillin, and they park themselves right in the center of the monastery, of the church. They arrive, and the Rebbe is praving regular Yiddishkeit, takes out his talis, his tefillin, untouched. No one says anything, no one says boom. Day 1 goes by, no movement, nothing. Day 2, and the gabbai says, like, after 2 days, like, Rebbe, like, we've been here already for 2 days, like, we've probably been noticed, and, like, they're either going to kill us very shortly, or, like, let's just get out of here. It's already Higi Azman. She's not coming, she sees it here probably, and she says, give us another 24 hours. That night, the Rebbe finds a gardener, one of the maintenance guys in the monastery, and he says, did you see of this girl, this Jewish girl? And he says, of course, that's like the talk of town, that's the talk of the whole, we're so excited, we got this catch, big accomplishment for us. And he said, do me a favor, tells the maintenance guy. He says, listen, I'm writing a note, and I just want you to give it to her. I don't want to knock, I don't want to ask, I don't want to talk, I'm just asking you to give her the note. He says, okay. And the Rebbe writes, he said, hi, it's me, Reb David, and I just want to let you know I am outside. Chaysim b'bracha, David. Sends it in. 24 hours later, out of nowhere, there's sound of shattered glass. And the girl emerges, jumps out, and the Rebbe sees her. There's not much time to talk. And the girl says, Rebbe, I'm ready to go. Let's get out of here. And the Rebbe starts asking, he said, we don't have time to talk. You don't understand, they're coming after me. Let's just run, and I'll explain to you later. They start running, they get into the thick of the forest. They calm down, they stop, they're panting. And the Rebbe says, okay, now I have to understand. 3 days, I came with my gabbai. Day 1, day 2, nothing. I sent a note, you came. Like, what? Makara, mapitom. What was it that caused you to come around? And the girl looked up with tears and looked at the Rebbe and said, Rebbe, I know you came on a very challenging journey through the dark, through the rain, through the forest, to come and rescue me. But that wasn't enough. He said, I saw you sitting for 3 days. When I saw you sitting without any food, without any water, without any nourishment, any sustenance, he said, I knew after 3 days you wouldn't leave, ever, until I come out. And he said, when that became a clear realization to me, when that set in my mind, that was a clear reality, that you're not going anywhere, then I realized, nothing in my Yiddishkeit changed, my perception of the Eibusher didn't change. But once I realized that you cared about me, and that you're not going anywhere until I show up, until I come out, I said, if you care about me like that, I can't let you down. I'm not going to fail you. And because you had that hope in me, I had the hope in myself. And that's the same thing over here. Even after Karis, even when the lawn feels so dried out and there's nothing there, the Eibishter comes back and he says, Loi sichala kitzar tzechem. Don't cut yourself out. Don't shut yourself out. And whatever you can do, I have hope in you. Just do it. Small strides, small steps. Kabbalah stir is coming. It's a real thing. With the Amma Nivchar, we have the resilience and the realization that time is of the essence, and we should come to Hashem with small Kabbalahs, small actions. It'll bring him nachas ruach. Then Mitzvah Hashem will be able to say, Asher Baruch Rabbanim Mikol Ha'amim, with the truest sense, most pride. We all be zeiche to emes Kabbalah Torah. Thank you.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.